Power does not seek justice. It seeks continuity. It flows like blood, not toward virtue, but toward survival. In the presence of weakness, it does not show mercy. It sharpens its knives. Every time you reveal yourself, someone recalculates your worth, not by your ideals, not by your kindness, but by your utility and your vulnerability. What you offer, what you lack, and how easily you can be moved. Even silence speaks. Even restraint maps out the edges of your cage. In the theater of power, to be seen is to be measured. To be measured is to be targeted. And what begins as empathy often ends in leverage. A tremor in the hand, a hesitation in speech, a flicker of doubt in the eye, these are not forgiven. They are catalogued, filed, weaponized. You think loyalty is earned. You think sincerity binds. But in this world, in the true world, behind the illusions, loyalty is rented, and sincerity is a blade offered hilt first only to be reversed. Everyone is loyal until ambition whispers a better bargain. To command is to walk alone through shifting terrain, where friends become informants, allies become rivals, and enemies learn to mimic affection. The mistake is to believe that goodwill endures. It does not. It decays in the presence of opportunity. Power attracts the loyal only as long as it promises elevation. Men do not love you. They love what standing next to you does for their reflection. And so, the ruler learns to wear masks not because he lacks a face, but because he cannot afford to show it. Transparency is suicide. To be seen fully is to offer your opponents the very tools they need to dismantle you. Weakness is never forgiven in the court of power. It is studied. It is rehearsed against you. You must not merely lead. You must haunt. Your presence must disturb calculation. Your silence must imply preparation. Let no one know what stirs you, wounds you, enrages you, for once they know, they will use it. They will drag you into their theater, play upon your sentiment, bait you into missteps wrapped in emotion. The smile of the enemy is the oldest deception. It lures, it softens, it waits. Every plea for understanding is a trap. Every cry for compromise, a test. You must not be cruel, but you must be cold. There is a difference. Cruelty is wasteful. Coldness is restraint. The hand that hesitates to strike when necessary digs its own grave. The world does not reward those who feel deeply. It rewards those who calculate precisely. The myth of the good man ruling justly is a fairy tale told to children and citizens. In the real world, the one who rises is the one who dares to see clearly without the veil of sentiment, without the fog of ideology. Do not mistake the roar of the crowd for safety. Popularity is volatile. Today's applause becomes tomorrow's accusation. The same voice that hails you a savior will curse you a tyrant. People follow strength, or at least the appearance of it. They do not care whether you are good. They care whether you are strong, whether you protect what is theirs, whether you radiate inevitability. Power is not built by showing who you are. It is built by showing what must be seen. You are not permitted to suffer openly. You are not permitted to falter. You are not permitted to bleed, unless you want that blood used as ink in someone else's narrative. Do you think mercy makes you noble? It makes you a mark. Do you think honesty buys loyalty? It buys the map to your ruin. To lead is to play a game that never ends, a game where every piece is disposable, where the rules shift, and where the board itself is built to collapse beneath you the moment you relax. You must think beyond today, beyond alliances, beyond sentiment. You must anticipate betrayal, not as a shock, but as a seasonal change. Inevitable, predictable, ordinary. A man in power must always ask, who benefits from my downfall? Who waits for my error? Who smiles while sharpening their intentions? You may trust, but only as a tactic, never as a creed. A ruler does not offer his heart, he offers his silence. He does not reveal his wounds, he reveals consequences. To command is to become less human to others and more human to yourself. You cannot ask to be understood. You can only demand to be obeyed. The lie of leadership is that it brings peace. It does not. It brings vision, but also solitude. A true leader lives among others, but not with them. He listens, but does not confess. He remembers everything, but shares nothing. Because the truth is, every weakness you show will be weaponized, every crack in your armor will be widened, every moment of trust, of fatigue, of softness, it will be noticed, studied, and turned into leverage. If you must be kind, let it be strategy. If you must be generous, let it be calculation. But if you must survive, let there be no illusions. This world does not spare the naive. It elevates the prepared, and so you must walk through it not with hope, but with discipline, not with purity, but with clarity. The throne is not a seat, it is a burden, a crucible, and only those who understand the weight of silence, the necessity of distance, and the cost of appearing weak, only they endure. Because in the end, your greatest threat is not the enemy that opposes you, it is the part of yourself that still believes virtue is enough. Strip it away, or it will strip you bare. This is not cynicism, it is design. It is the nature of command. To lead in a fractured world is to become the fracture that cannot be broken, the shadow that cannot be held, the force that shapes history not through sentiment, but through necessity. And when they come for you as they always do, let them find nothing. No wound to press, no truth to twist, only the silence of the unbreakable, because every weakness you show will be weaponized. And power belongs to those who leave none. The ruler who survives is not the one who pleads for understanding, but the one who compels it without a word. In the corridors of influence, even the faintest echo of hesitation breeds predators. The court, the cabinet, the boardroom, these are not assemblies of loyalty, they are arenas of calculation. Every eye weighs. Every smile conceals a ledger of debts and ambitions. Every hand extended may just as easily clench into a fist the moment you turn your back. If you must speak, speak to control the air, not to unburden the soul. Your words must never be confessions, they must be instruments. And even then, use them sparingly, for the less you say, the more they wonder, and wondering breeds fear far more efficiently than certainty. You will learn too late, if you are careless, that those closest to you study you most intently. They are not satisfied with the surface. They seek the chinks, the small fractures in your resolve, the patterns in your generosity, the triggers of your rage. Betrayal does not come from afar. It comes from the confidant you believed disarmed, from the ally you indulged, from the one you allowed too deep a glance into your human frailty. And yet you are told to inspire trust, to show compassion, to lead with openness. These are luxuries afforded to those who do not bear the burden of command. You are not permitted such indulgences. To lead is to stand apart, to wrap yourself in a veil of unknowability, so that even your most intimate allies cannot predict whether you are plotting their advancement or their destruction. Those who despise you may still respect you if you are strong. Those who love you may still destroy you if they sense you are weak. Understand this, and you will see why rulers of every age have favored the appearance of severity over the reality of affection. It is not because they enjoyed cruelty, it is because power bleeds out of kindness unguarded. The human heart craves fairness, but the state does not run on fairness. It runs on force, perception, and the manipulation of fear. You must not aim to be loved. You must aim to be necessary. Love is fickle. Necessity endures. Even justice, that grand ideal, is no fixed star. It bends under the weight of power. A man wronged will forgive if you can make him believe his grievance is trivial, or that revenge would cost him more than suffering in silence. A man loyal will turn if he senses your favor waning. Keep them guessing. Keep them dependent. A ruler is not a friend. A ruler is an environment. Make them breathe your presence like air, feel your absence like vacuum, and they will cling not to affection, but to survival within the order you create. What of your own survival? It depends on your ability to restrain the most natural impulse of all, the desire to be understood. You are told from childhood that confession heals, that to share your wounds is to find solace. For the powerful, this is a lie. To confess is to offer weapons. Every secret surrendered is a sword handed to another. You may think yourself unburdened, but they will keep the memory of your words, and when the tide turns, they will press the blade's edge to your throat. Coldness is not inhumanity. It is self-preservation. To rule is to be dissected, painted, vilified, sanctified, often in the same breath. You cannot control the narratives others weave, but you can control what they see, what they know, what they think they know. Build a fortress of ambiguity around your true desires. Show only what serves you. Withhold everything else. Even love, if you allow it too near, will make you vulnerable. To love deeply is to place a knife in another's hand and hope they never turn it. History is a graveyard of rulers who trusted too fully, who thought passion stronger than ambition, who believed the people or their court or their family would shelter them from the storm. The wise do not ask for shelter, they become the storm. If you must act decisively, act swiftly and without hesitation. A single strike is remembered less bitterly than 1,000 cuts drawn out over time. Fear, once instilled, does not require constant reinforcement. It lingers, it whispers, it disciplines on your behalf. But fear must never be reckless. A ruler who is feared without respect breeds conspiracies. A ruler who is respected even in fear breeds order. The difference is subtle, but survival depends on subtlety. Do not delude yourself into thinking peace is the natural state of men. It is not. Beneath the veneer of civility lies the raw hunger for more power, more wealth, more freedom, to do as one pleases. This hunger will turn on you the moment your grasp slips. A ruler's peace is always provisional, always contingent upon vigilance and the balance of competing ambitions. Sleep lightly, trust sparingly, prepare always. They will say you are paranoid, perhaps. But paranoia is only a flaw when the threat is imagined. In power, the threats are real. They multiply in silence. You will not hear them until they are at your door. You will be tempted, again and again, to abandon the mask, to be honest, to be tender, to believe you can rule as yourself. This is the deadliest temptation of all. You must rule as something more. A symbol, a presence, a calculation. You may still possess a self, but keep it hidden, buried beneath layers of resolve, so deep that even you forget where it lies. Because every weakness you show will be weaponized, every human impulse exploited, every faltering step magnified. And when you fall, they will not remember the moments you were kind or fair or forgiving. They will remember only that you fell, and they will move on without you. Better they never see you stumble. Better they believe you cannot. Power does not reward those who are pure. It rewards those who endure. And to endure, you must strip yourself of illusions, sharpen your instincts, and embrace the cold reality. In this world, strength is not optional. It is the price of survival. There will be moments when you long to cast off the weight, to speak freely, to lower your guard. Resist them. The world will not meet your vulnerability with compassion. It will meet it with hunger. To lead is to sacrifice the luxury of being known. Your legacy is not built in comfort. It is forged in discipline, in silence, in the mastery of your own shadow. Because in the end, power is not taken from you. It is surrendered, moment by moment, in lapses of vigilance, in misplaced trust, in unguarded words. If you do not hold it tightly, someone else will, and when they do, they will not hesitate. They will do what you were unwilling to do. This is the only law that matters. Hold or be held. Command or be commanded. Strike or be struck. There is no third path. There never was. Every weakness you show will be weaponized. And those who remember this, those who feel the chill of it and still step forward, they are the ones who shape history. They are the ones who are never unmade. The longer you hold power, the more you will understand. Survival is not won by brute force alone, but by subtlety, patience, and the willingness to appear less than you are while becoming more than they can imagine. The wolf that shows its teeth too early dies first. The serpent that waits strikes with precision. To lead is to master both. Every gesture you make, Every silence you keep ripples outward. Those who watch you, advisors, rivals, citizens, even allies, study the ripples, not the depth of the water. Let them see strength where there is only calculation. Let them see certainty where you are still weighing options. The illusion of invulnerability is worth more than any army. But know this, even illusions must be tended. Appearances are not accidents. They are weapons in a theater where perception determines reality. If they believe you are inevitable, their resistance dissolves before it forms. If they sense fragility, even those who swear allegiance will begin to test the walls for cracks. This is the paradox of power. It must seem effortless, even as it demands constant effort. You may think alliances will save you. They will not. Alliances are born of convenience, and convenience changes with the tides. Today's ally becomes tomorrow's competitor, their gratitude dissolving into resentment the moment they believe they no longer need you. Hold them close, but not so close they can wound you without warning. Give them gifts, but ensure those gifts bind them in obligation. Praise them, but remind them gently that your favor can vanish as swiftly as it came. Keep them hungry, keep them guessing. Do not confuse stability with safety. Stability is an illusion, a thin crust over the restless magma of human ambition. It can crack without warning. Your role is to anticipate where the cracks will form and either seal them or let them split at the moment most advantageous to you. To master this is to master the very flow of events, to shape fortune rather than be shaped by it. You will be tested not once, but continually. There will be moments when resistance hardens, when whispers of revolt gather like storm clouds. Here, hesitation is fatal. Strike first, strike decisively, and let your example burn so brightly that even those contemplating rebellion will feel their courage dissolve in its heat. A single harsh act in time is mercy compared to the chaos of indecision. Yet, beware of crossing the line into brutality. Fear is a tool, but it is not infinite. It must be balanced by respect, or it rots into hatred that festers in secret. A ruler who rules by fear alone will not sleep well, for every shadow becomes a threat. You must be feared enough that they dare not move against you, but respected enough that they prefer your rule to the abyss of uncertainty. This balance is an art, and few master it. What of love? You will be told to seek it, to inspire it in those you govern. But love is fragile. It evaporates in hardship. It curdles in envy. It burns out in the heat of ambition. Fear and respect endure, because they demand less of human nature. Do not waste yourself trying to be loved. Instead, make them need you. Make them believe that their fate is bound to yours, that without you they are adrift in chaos. Then love becomes irrelevant. And what of your own heart? You will feel it harden. At first you will resist this, clinging to some vestige of the person you were before power claimed you. But you will learn, if you are to endure, that softness invites the knife. The ruler who cannot stomach loneliness, who cannot live with suspicion, who cannot act against those he once cherished, is a ruler already defeated. There is no virtue in allowing others to destroy you. There is no glory in martyrdom. To serve your vision, to protect the order you have built, you must become capable of anything. This does not mean you must act without restraint. On the contrary, restraint is a weapon, but you must know, in the marrow of your bones, that when the time comes, you will do what is necessary, no matter how it scorches your soul. Do not imagine you are free. Power is not freedom. It is a heavier chain, one you clasp to your own wrists the moment you ascend. You may command others, but you are commanded by the needs of the throne, by the unrelenting demands of survival. Every choice carries consequences that echo through lives unseen. Every weakness you suppress costs you a part of yourself, yet every weakness you indulge risks all you have built. This is why so few can rule well. It is not because they lack intelligence or strength, but because they lack the stomach for the solitude of command. You will stand in rooms filled with people and feel utterly alone, because none of them can ever be allowed to see you fully. You will smile, and it will be calculated. You will speak, and every word will be weighed like gold. You will listen, and every syllable they utter will be filtered for threat and opportunity. This is not a tragedy. It is the architecture of power. To resent it is to falter. To accept it is to endure. Because the moment you forget, just for an instant, that every weakness you show will be weaponized, you invite the storm, and the storm never forgives. Every hesitation is a signal. Every confession is an opening. Every indulgence is a crack in the foundation. Those who wish to replace you, to rise over your fallen body, are patient. They do not strike at your strength. They wait for you to grow tired. They wait for the moment you long to be human again. Do not give them that moment. If there is anything sacred in power, it is this. Hold yourself as tightly as you hold the state. Guard your heart as fiercely as you guard your borders. And if you must bleed, do so in private. If you must weep, let the walls hear you, not the world. If you must doubt, let no one see the shadow cross your eyes. The ruler is not permitted the luxury of being known. He is not permitted the comfort of being loved. He is permitted only the cold satisfaction of survival, of seeing the game extend another day because he refused to bow, refused to break, refused to offer even a glimpse of weakness. Every weakness you show will be weaponized. And so you must become the weapon they cannot seize. You must become the shadow they cannot pierce. You must become the force they cannot unmake. The deeper you go into power's labyrinth, the more you realize there is no center, no resting place, no point at which you can finally exhale. Power is not a destination. It is a ceaseless motion, a game without end. The moment you stop moving, someone else takes your place. The throne you think you occupy is never truly yours. It is borrowed from time, from circumstance, from the will of others who obey you only because they fear what comes without you. That fear must never be allowed to fade. The hunger for more is the one constant in human affairs. Do not deceive yourself into thinking it only resides in others. It resides in you. You will feel it the first time you taste victory. The surge, the rush, the sense that nothing is beyond your grasp. But beware, hunger is a double-edged blade. It drives you forward, but it also blinds you. If you do not master it, it masters you. And then you are no longer a ruler, but a captive of your own ambition. And yet, ambition is necessary. Without it, you are a caretaker, not a commander. The art lies in knowing when to feed the fire and when to smother it, when to seize and when to wait. Fortune favors those who act boldly at the right moment, but it punishes those who mistake recklessness for courage. The difference is subtle, too subtle for most. You will be tempted to act from anger, from pride, from vengeance. Resist. These are luxuries for lesser men. Anger clouds calculation. Pride distorts perspective. Vengeance, though sweet, often costs more than it yields. A ruler must act not from emotion, but from necessity. Strike only when it strengthens your position. Forgive only when it binds the forgiven in chains of gratitude and debt. Every move you make must serve the architecture of your power. Anything less is weakness, and weakness is blood in the water. Consider betrayal. It is not an aberration. It is the natural state of men whose interests shift with the wind. Do not lament it. Expect it. Plan for it. In betrayal lies opportunity, for every traitor reveals his nature to others. Use that revelation. Let one betrayal warn 100 would-be conspirators. Make the cost of treachery so steep that even your enemies think twice before moving against you. But remember, not all threats announce themselves. Some come with smiles, with gifts, with whispers of loyalty. The most dangerous enemy is not the one who opposes you openly, but the one who waits, who nods in agreement while planting seeds of your downfall. To survive, you must develop an instinct for deception, not only to practice it, but to detect it. Do not believe that transparency will shield you. Truth is too blunt an instrument for the subtle war of power. It is not your duty to be understood. It is your duty to endure. The world does not reward those who bare their souls. It rewards those who wield appearances like armor and weapons alike. What they see in you is never what is. What they believe about you is never the whole truth. Let that work to your advantage. Some will say this is cynical. It is not. It is the recognition of how things are, not how we wish them to be. You can cling to illusions and be destroyed, or you can open your eyes and shape the world as it is. The choice is yours. You will learn that fear and hope are not opposites. They are instruments, and both must be tuned to your purpose. Inspire hope to build, inspire fear to hold. The two together form a cage from which few dare escape. Too much fear breeds rebellion. Too much hope breeds entitlement. Balance them as a physician balances poison and cure. Do not seek to rule forever. No man does. Seek only to rule long enough to carve your vision into the stone of history. But understand, history will not remember your virtues. It will remember your victories and your failures. It will not care about the pain you carried, the sacrifices you made, the loneliness you endured. It will care only for what you built and whether it lasted. And what of love? You may find it, even as a ruler, but you will also find that love is a chain you cannot afford to wear. To love deeply is to be divided. Your enemies will see it and strike where your heart is exposed. Your allies will see it and question whether your judgment is clouded. If you cannot harden yourself against this, then power is not for you. Every moment you falter, every sigh of doubt, every indulgence in sentiment, these are openings. You may think they go unnoticed. They do not. The world watches you with hungry eyes. It listens for weakness, for any sign that you are more human than the mask you wear. And once it finds that sign, it will tear you apart. You cannot be fully known. You cannot be fully loved. You can only be obeyed, respected, and when necessary, feared. This is the cost of command. If you are not willing to pay it, step aside now. Better to walk away than to be dragged down screaming by the forces you once controlled. But if you are willing, if you can accept the solitude, the suspicion, the weight of unending vigilance, then power can be yours. You will not find peace in it, but you will find purpose. You will not find friends, but you will find tools. You will not find rest, but you will find victory. Every weakness you show will be weaponized. This is the first and final law of power. Ignore it, and you will be unmade. Obey it, and you may yet endure not as a man, but as a force, as a presence, as something too formidable to be broken. There is no other way. And in the end, when the years have stripped the world of pretense, and your mask has fused to the bone, you will stand alone in the silence of what you have built. You will look out over the machinery of your power, the levers you pulled, the lives you shaped, the enemies you crushed, the allies you bound in golden chains, and you will understand that there is no return. You became the architect of necessity. You became the shadow in which others moved, the air they feared to breathe without your permission. You mastered the currents of betrayal and ambition, not because you were immune to them, but because you dared to see them as they are not as sins, but as laws written in the marrow of humankind. You will not be thanked. Gratitude is fleeting, and those who once feared you will find courage in your absence. They will rewrite your story to soothe their own vanity. They will call you ruthless, cunning, cold, and perhaps they will be right, but they will not call you weak. And that is the only victory a ruler is ever allowed. Because power is not a crown, it is not glory, it is not love. Power is the ability to remain standing when all others have fallen. It is the ability to shape the storm rather than be consumed by it. It is the final and only refuge from the chaos of a world that devours the unprepared. Do not ask for understanding. Do not seek redemption. There is no absolution for those who chose command over comfort, silence over confession, necessity over sentiment. There is only the quiet knowledge that you endured, that you held the line, that you became what was required. The masses will remember only fragments. The chroniclers will write in half-truths. Your name will outlive you, but not your soul. This too is the cost. And yet, if you have done it well, there will come a day when someone whispers your name, not in hatred, but in awe, not for your virtue, but for your clarity, not for your goodness, but for your strength. And in that moment, you will know the game was worth the price, because every weakness you might have shown was forged into armor. Every fear you might have confessed was sealed in silence. And in the end, it was not mercy or love or hope that held the world together. It was you,